Okay, so welcome to our personal finance class. That's the introduction part. So we'll basically get to understand what is personal finance, then the components of personal finance. And we define personal finance as a process of planning and managing personal financial activities, such as the income generation, to determine your cash inflows. Spending, those are the expenses or the expenditure, savings, investing, and also protection or insurance. The process of managing one's personal finances is basically what we summarize, what we call a budget or financial plan. Some of the key areas of personal finance includes income, cash, that's the cash inflows. Then spending, that is the cash outflow, that is money going out. It also includes savings, investing, and protection. Then we'll start with the income as the first component. And income is defined or refers to the source of cash inflows that an individual receives and then uses to support themselves and also their families. This is the money that we get either to finance our activities or to finance our expenses. It's basically the starting point for financial planning process. As you know, that budget is basically, it incorporates two main components. One of them is income, and the other one is expense. So income is cash inflow or money coming in from different sources. We look at those sources, and these sources of income all generate cash that an individual can use to either spend, either invest, or maybe save, or use to buy an asset that you need, or basically you can use it to either pay school fees, or you can use it basically to meet other expenses. And basically income is a first personal finance roadmap. Is the first thing that basically you have to look at, because the amount that you get either on daily basis, on monthly basis, or weekly basis can basically define or influence your spending. Some of the sources of personal income, some of the common sources, and I say common, that means we have not exhausted all of them. There could be more than this based on the different activities that we undertake. You could be earning salaries or maybe wages. If you're paid on monthly basis, then we talk about salaries. If you're paid on weekly basis, we talk about wages. Then we have bonus, that is appreciation maybe for productivity or good performance at the end of the defined period. You can also sell services. If you have a barber shop, or maybe you have a salon, or maybe you have a boda, if you provide services, then you generate income. Then hourly wages, if you're paid based on hours or based on the number of hours that you have worked. Then you have the piecework wages or rate. That means you're paid based on the work done. So if you're producing, you're in production, or maybe you're making units, you're paid based on the number of items that you produce at a given point in time. There's also pension, that is a retirement. Inflow, you have dividends, that is a return that you get from your investment, particularly if you buy company shares, or maybe if you invest your money in a circle, then you get dividends from the amount that you have invested from the capital shares. Then there's commission that is paid based on either, for example, from the sales, based on a particular percentage. Then there's overtime allowance. If you work for more than allowed time, let's say, for example, you're supposed to work for 8 hours in a day. If you work for 9 hours, maybe the 9th hour, you qualify to be paid for overtime. Then the shift allowance, which is basically payment for, in case you're called to work maybe during a holiday or maybe over the weekend, then the amount that you're paid to compensate for antisocial hours is what we refer to shift allowance. Personal savings, that's a proportion that may be from your salary or wages that you save either on daily basis or monthly basis. You can also talk to your family and friends. You can also take a loan, either short-term or basically long-term. And that means if you talk about the loan could be either from the venture capitalist or maybe from angel investors, or give you funds either to finance your idea or to finance your investment. Then at the end of the day, you can give them returns, or you agree to give them part of ownership in your business. You have angel investors. These are wealthy investors. They are wealthy individuals outside your family and friends who are willing to maybe support starting business, growing business, mature business, but particularly you'll find them to support in startups. Then you have the pension or social security, then income from rental properties or investments. In case you have some rental houses, the amount of money that you collect from your tenants at the end either of the month or at the end of the given period of time, on a quarterly basis, there maybe lease payments that can also be classified as a source of income for your business. So those are some of the common sources that can also define, but I say that it depends with the kind of activity. If you provide services, if you sell goods, that is basically how can generate some income for your survival. Unless you have any question, we can close there for income. The next one you meet, we'll talk about expenses. Now we have seen how to generate revenue income, basically for your personal, or what you call personal income. Then how do you spend that money? Where does it go? How do you allocate it? Then from there, we look at expenses. Now we'll move to look at what you prepare, what you call a budget, which is a basic tool, whether for personal use